Hey guys, Evander here back with another video. Today I'm excited to show you Teststudio's Cybertruck Door Blade outlet. This is essentially a outlet hub and it uses this one AC outlet cable, connects inside of your center console armrest area, and turns this one cable into 5 different ways to power devices. Right at your fingertips, it sits in between here, in between the cup holders and the center console armrest, and it'll sit right here. It's got some mounting tape to adhere. Tested it out. You might not need to do it. You'll see in a sec why. But yeah, this is basically going to bring the very difficult to reach AC outlet right up front, easy to access, and yeah, be able to power many devices. What I love about this is it has 2 built-in retractable USB-C cables right at your fingertips, so you and your guests can easily access your cables. You don't have to fidget around as I've been doing inside my center console organizer, trying to get that out, fish it around. Never again with this. But yeah, the installation is very simple, plug and play, and if you want, adhere it to your center console area. So if you want this, link in the description below. And as always, RedKnave20 is going to score you at least 20% off this, plus anything else you add to your cart. Using my affiliate link, and it should just add that for you. So let me get you in up close, show you how this works, how it installs, and a couple little quirks and a caveat to using it. Here we are up close, and if you're wondering, this does have a protective film on it. So let me peel that off right now. There is a display built into this on the top, a very small area that shows you the wattage being consumed. Keep in mind this little display, however, only shows you the power being consumed from these 2 retractable USB-C ports. Doesn't seem to show you how much wattage is being drawn from either of these ports or the AC outlet itself. However, you can see the total amount of power drain from the settings of your Cybertruck in the display. So I'll show you that in a sec. So where does this mount? It goes right about here. As you can see, it is like perfectly Cybertruck themed. It's got all these nice angles, and the molding is spot on. It fits beautifully in this little area. They've optimized it to sit beautifully flush. And if you lower, let me show you, lower the center console, the little void here falls right on top of that, and they do not interfere. You can shut this all the way still. So this is what I've been using before. If you've seen my ElecFresh video, I've been using their USB hub to power my devices, and it can get a little messy at times, even with just 2 cables out of the 4 that I have available to plug in here. So let me first unplug these, set those aside. And the next question you might be asking is, well, how is this going to go in there? And I thought the same. What really is going to blow your mind is I need to route this not only behind this organizer, but I have the Best EV Mod fingerprint safe. So we've got to get around that as well. If for some reason you own both of these, it will work. But if you don't have either of these 2 accessories, it's going to fit a lot easier, and your installation process is going to be a lot faster than mine. So in the safe here, we've got to route the AC cable. I do wish this was like even 1 inch longer, because it is a tight fit. I basically have to get it into the notch of my safe. I pre-dry fit this beforehand, and it does fit. Again, it's just like stretched out as far as it could be, so I have to really put it in there and nail it spot on. I believe the outlet in there is oriented like that. So okay, took me maybe 2 minutes, but after blindly feeling around down there, I was able to plug it in. So now I've got to move this cable into that little notch. I need as much slack as I possibly can get from this thing. And there we go. So that's what that looks like in there. As tight as can be for sure. But yeah, when this sits here, for me, because I have it pulled so taut, it is essentially on a hinge at this point. So now that it is installed, I can close my safe. I've got my ElecFresh cable still plugged in there for the USB-C port. That still squishes all together somehow, by the grace of God. And then this little sucker really doesn't like that this is now here. So I've got to sort of rummage this just underneath it. Okay, this guy's back in. It like barely fits in there. We are squeezing this cable. I saw another Tesstudio affiliate. He basically notched out his center console organizer so that the cable had somewhere to fit through. But I'm just going to squeeze mine. I feel like that's fine enough. I suppose it'd be nice if they invented a compatible organizer that is intended to be used with this in mind. That would have been nice, but maybe in the future. So I have the best of all three worlds with this hub, the safe underneath. Everything still fits together, and this is able to shut without any issue. Lucky me. What I did have to sacrifice, if you've seen some of my more recent videos, is I used to have, where did I put it? I used to have this thing in my cup holder area, and this is where my sunglasses would sit. I actually really liked this accessory. I did modify it. I cut out all of these rectangles so that my cups were way too tight anytime they add silicone to these areas. So I cut those out myself with an X-Acto blade. This was in there, but obviously these are not compatible with each other. They're just meant to take up the same space. So this one's gone. I'm gonna pull out. Luckily I have my old one I never got rid of, and that one will have to do to protect my cup holder area. But if you do have any cup holder, and this thing is like flush with the line here, so any cup holder that you put in here, it's just never going to fit as nicely. That is another caveat I've noticed. This actually doesn't bother me too much since it's just like 2 millimeters at most getting pushed. I might consider finding like a vinyl carbon fiber sticker, since that would be, low enough of a tolerance that it wouldn't be as noticeable, and I'd still get some protection and coverage to this plastic area. I'll look around. But in the meantime, I'll just use this cup holder, compatible with this. They don't interfere with each other too badly. But yeah, that's one thing I noticed. All right, let's turn the drawer blade on. To turn on the blade, just go to the settings of your Cybertruck, outlets and mods, and this one on the left. Turn on the outlets. There we go. This will now start to display the amount of watts being drawn from the retractable USB-C cables. Again, it will not show you the main AC outlet, but you can see that here on your display. All right, now that the blade is plugged in and has power, I want to show you we can actually use a nice beefy charger very easily. So I got my iPad Pro up here, plug that in, and immediately, there we go, starts charging. Again, you won't be able to see the amount of draw on this display, but you can go to your outlets and mods and easily see how much energy is being used by your outlets over here. If I do use these retractable USB-C cables, then it will show the amount of power being drawn. So if we plug that in, immediately, I'm glad it's oriented from the driver's perspective, not upside down. We're drawing 28.9 watts. So these USB-C cables on the left and right. The retractable ones are rated at 30 watts. And I believe the USB-A 3.0 port is rated at 25 watts. This one is rated at 30 watts as well for USB-C. And just to show you, this is the passenger side retractable USB-C cable. This thing is quite long. It would be able to power a phone easily if you had it mounted to your display, or for whatever reason your passenger needs to use it, they'd be able to set it on your center console and charge their phone with this as well. So it's, I'd say, plenty long enough. Any longer and that'd just be a little too much, but this is a great length, I feel like, for the retractable cables. And I love that they can just retract back in and just push in and tuck away. So these are extremely easy to get a hold of and hide and put back away. Absolutely love how clean that looks. The final caveat is, don't forget, this is using an AC outlet. So if I leave my Cybertruck, this outlet and all of them get killed off and no power. So for some reason, if I needed to power something longer than the duration of my drive, I would need to turn this setting on and do keep outlets on. That will, preserve the power being given to the blade. What I will probably end up doing is turning this on to enable cabin outlets on entry. That way, as soon as I unlock and open my door, the outlet is enabled and I don't have to go to my settings every single time I want to drive and power something. But it just depends how often you need to power something from your center console area. Well, frankly, I might not do it often. I've got my T-Sports line wireless charger right over there. But on the off chance, if you are a power user, no pun intended, just turn this setting on and it will keep the blade powered on every time you're driving and turn it off when you leave. But if you need to keep using power, turn on the second setting to keep outlets on, and that's your option for you. All right, guys, that about does it for this review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share as always. I think this makes this look absolutely beautiful, nice and clean look. Definitely has that Cybertruck aesthetics going on and really makes the outlet more accessible, because I was never going to use that ever before, being locked in that safe pretty much. But now I have the option of just really easily plugging in things. I've had to use hair dryers before for other installs, and I've just been using the back port since that was easier to get to. Now I can actually get to the front port and make that my primary AC outlet, built right into the Cybertruck. It's here for a reason. It's a shame not to use it, so I'm glad that this is more accessible. A little bit of a shame I had to move around some other accessories that were kind of conflicting, getting in the way of it, but it is what it is. There's certain areas, there's only so much space in the truck to put things. I feel like it's kind of worth the compromise. I absolutely love the retractable cables. Having these is just, it couldn't get any better than that as far as cable management, because you saw my center console. It's always a mess. There's always cables stuck on each other. Never again. I'm just going to use these. So I'll have to find a different I'll have to find a different center console organizer, perhaps. Maybe one that fits a little bit better in conjunction with this drawer blade, but I'm fine with living with that. Alrighty, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, you know the drill, and I will see you guys soon in the next review. See you later.